Oh, we lost Red, gonna rest summer, and we are your gay aunties. Something crazy. We just literally lost Red as we started the show because that's how we roll. That's how we roll. Literally, she gets popped away. So right now, it is just your auntie Hanifa until Auntie Red finds her way back online. Okay. All right, so today we're really excited because we got showrunner, filmmaker Coquie Hughes coming out of Chicago, representing Chicago. Today we're really excited. I have no idea what happened to our Red. Red, where did you go? That's so crazy. Of course, it's happened when we started the show. That being said, all right, babies, if this is your first time here on YGA and you have no idea where you are or who I am, no, who we are, we and Auntie Red, that being us, your gay aunties, we are what democracy looks like. You know what I'm saying? When your life and your country is looking like a circus and they both feel rather uncertain, in the end, that's when we swoop in. All right, we, your aunties, we are the emotional democracy needed in the drama-filled coup that is your young lives. So bless you. Oh, and bless us. We have Auntie Red back now.
I am here.
What happened to you, Auntie Red? What is going on?
Well, I am not at my home and I am on a Wi-Fi situation that is unstable. So right now I am on my mobile hotspot to ensure that we have no more internet issues. I actually got a whole new phone just to make sure that we did not have these issues. And so now we're back.
Exactly. We be moving like that. So, we pop in and out of your lives sometimes like that. Well, I would just let the people know, for new folks who don't know who we are, I let them know all that. And then you pop right in, right on time.
Perfect. Well, since Auntie Hanifa has already let you know where you are, I just want to let you know that Your Gay Aunties is a bi-weekly live show and podcast that is centered around queer adulting. So every Sunday we go live on YouTube where we answer your letters about life, about love, and all of the entangled. So click the subscribe button below. And if you miss us live on Sundays at 1 o'clock Eastern time, we come around one more again on Wednesdays for our audio podcast by the same name, Your Gay Aunties, which you can find anywhere that you listen to podcasts.
Yes. Do a quick shout out to a couple of folks in the room, Jessica Donahue, and of course, our favorite songstress, Stephanie Gale. But for all you new folks, now you know where you are. Welcome home, child. We are your gay aunties, and we are here for the children.
Yeah, so please hit the subscribe button below and start texting your folks. Let them know to join us. Let them know that we are on youtube.com/yourgayaunties so they can be with us in the show.
Yes. And also, if you want to support your gay aunties, we got a lot going on Patreon. But if some of y'all, if y'all want to hit us off on the one, you know what I'm saying, make sure your auntie's okay, but you don't got it every month. You can find us on Cash App, honey, at Your Gay Aunties. Guess what? And I know all y'all got Cash App, all right? So if you're feeling like that, Cash App is when you're like, you know what, I'm thinking about my aunties today. Let me hit them off, So just know that is available to you if you want to show some love, all right? All right. Let's dive into the catch-up, girl. First of all, how you been? What's good? Past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm good. Thankfully, the past 2 weeks have been uneventful because the past 2 weeks
uneventful
in my life. Personally, because of course we know the country is eagerly awaiting actual leadership. There are lots of things that are going on there, but I did forget. We had like the Million MAGA March in DC.
You mean the 11,000? Fools that roll through
Yeah.
BLM Plaza.
A
I
bunch of them
love the
showed up
juxtaposition. Right.
and punks jump up to get beat down. That's what I heard it went like. So, and also one of the signs that was out, I'm so excited to see. They are starting to now change the name to the Trump virus from coronavirus, since he wanted to call it the China virus. People are started to pick up that people are saying, yes, well, the Trump virus is and the numbers of the Trump virus are getting out of control.
He likes his name on everything.
That's hilarious.
That too.
Yes.
Perfect. And he's such a narcissist. He probably would hear like, you know what, it is mine.
Yes. I am a virus.
But this, I found out something very disappointing recently, around this. One of the things that, this election, thank God, yes, we won, but still at the end of the day, half of the other country voted. And out of the half of those people who voted for Trump, some of them look like us. Mm. And that's something we really can't forget. And even when we think you think an artist would be progressive, you think, a Black artist, of course, would be progressive in some way, shape, or form. But I got my heart broke this morning when I woke up and looked at my Facebook timeline. I thought it was a fucking joke.
What happened?
It seems that one jazz songstress, Cassandra Wilson, is a dead-up Trump supporter.
Shut up.
I can't. Now, that's what I said. That's what I said when I was like, what you talking about, Willis? Up in the threads. And so I said, they said, go on Twitter. So I go on Twitter and sad tweet after sad tweet. Mm. She's one of them Black folks that thinks us niggas is dumb. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I don't even know what to do with this. Yeah. I don't know what to do with it, to be honest with you. Now, look, I don't know the woman. I'm not gonna say I was an avid fan of hers, but I was definitely a fan. I definitely was an admirer of her work. Her work definitely took me and moved me places. And I'm just gonna say, this is just to point out how we assume because they look like us don't mean that their thought process living in the same country is the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Very. I get for people who are very self-minded, right? Mm-hmm. So self-minded people of affluence are like my money, my taxes, the things that I personally gain from an administration like this. I also understand that a lot of military families love Republican presidents because Republican presidents are pro-war, which means that military people benefit, right? People who, like here in Georgia, we have all of these companies who make war items, right? So they boom when Republican presidents are there, right? But in order to really disconnect from what happens to people, because of it, I don't know how you can do it. Like, I get it. Like, I make bullets. I love Trump. He's been selling a whole lot of bullets, right? Because he's in office, everybody is afraid. They're all buying guns and they're all buying bullets and they're all getting ready. This is good business for me. However, people are also dying from the bullets, right? People are dying in the streets. People are dying.
That's a conflict that I think all of us can hold to whatever degree just by default of living and working in America. We kind of hold the burden of what this country has reaped throughout the world. But what is baffling me is, or what unfortunately I'm being reminded of is how easily the human mind can be molded and shaped, right? Just by the repetition of information and the separate information that people get, information that say you and I may get, or our guest this today may get, versus information that, my cousin Bubba get. And I'm thinking, my cousin Bubba, you know what I'm saying? We played as kids, but your
we
life
should
is
have a similar
yeah.
experience in that
We
way.
should somewhat, but somehow,
Yeah.
you identified as conservative, and now all you're getting is more of that, and then that's feeding to other stuff. And so now you're getting a completely separate message. We're not getting the same message, and we don't trust the same sources. So now what do we do? Now what do we do?
And I have taken the time, because I am just the personality type that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely listen to conservative viewpoints. Like I listen because I want to know, how do you think this? Right? And so there was this one thing that caught my eye of how many times Trump said the word God, right? And how many times he pulls that out to like rile people up, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you're super easily fooled, like you would think that is because he cares about God. No, 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 no. He just knows that he can manipulate people because that's a sensitive topic. And if he solely picks a side, then all of those people will say that, oh, he's one of us. And I think, to your same point, we assume that because people look a certain way or have a certain background, that they are one of us. And that's not always the case.
Nope, it's not. And now we all have to deal with an administration that has to deal with a country that's split down the middle. And I think us as progressives need to think progressively in how we receive this journey that him and Kamala are about to go on, Biden and Kamala are about to go on, and how we as a people who voted for them can support them, because they are going up against a wall, literally. Yeah. Literally. Okay. Yeah. And one more thing, and then we can move on. Georgia. I know of course, voting Georgia. Vote in Georgia. But to you conservatives, I'm just going to speak my mind, because guess what? It's my show. Conservatism is in direct contrast to nature. There's nothing conservative about nature. You can't find one thing in nature that is not willing to adapt and change. Not one thing. You tell me one thing, and I will humble myself. So the idea, and this is why me personally, I could never be a conservative, though I understand their financial principles and priorities. Conservatism is, for me, is anti-human. I know that's crazy. I may sound crazy to some folks, but I agree. Chew on that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe think about someone else other than yourself a little bit, and let's keep moving. All right, let's keep moving.
Well, look, I'm ready to think about somebody else.
Me too.
Right now, I want to think about our listeners, our viewers, our followers. Right? And so this is the part of the show where we love to feature one of you and what you do. And others should know about what you're doing and that they should follow. Right? Yes, so we call this segment Follow Me, because if you follow Your Gay Aunties on Instagram at Your Gay Aunties, then you could be a part of the show.
Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Yeah, I love me some Lovecraft country. Yes. All right. I'm gonna be slipping Lovecraft gifs in is in any point in opportunity. Anyway, but our Follow Me today is Jesta Got It. I hope I'm leaning on that right, but Jesta Got It, right? So this young person put themselves out there. All right. This is like a 2-minute or so montage of their musical growth through posts. All right. Now, I really found this courageous because as artists, sometimes we can really just stay in the lab, stay in the crib until it's ready. And so, but what I appreciated about Just Got It, that they put themselves out there really early. First, they were just kind of making beats. Then they were trying to just, flow, just kind of freestyle and sing with some melodies. Like, I see you, homie. I see your process, okay? But you're putting it in public, and that's what I feel is so valued here, All right, as one artist to another. And then they picked up a guitar and said, well, my mama said I should sing. So then they started singing, really trying to feel their voice. And then it's building and building. So here's 2 minutes of Just Got It. And we want to, now I don't know about trap music and all that. So I don't know what's good or bad, y'all. But that's not the point of why I'm sharing. I want to encourage you all to put yourselves out there as early as possible and get feedback and stay fearless. So no further ado, this is Just Got It. Okay, what's that? I like it. That's dope, right? No, okay.
Yo, I desecrate your heart, I desecrate your soul, I desecrate your body in the grave for it to go.
I love how she's hiding behind the camera.
You don't want to smoke, I'm running like I'm too low. Wild thing, booty shaking everywhere. You looking mad now, but I don't really fucking care. I just gotta say, did you make it home safe last night? When we looking up on the stars with our faces glowing in the moonlight. I just want you to know, had a good time, all right on time. Did you make it home last night? I've been thinking about you all night, alright. I want good vibes, yeah. Like cats got 9 lives, yeah. I want good vibes, yeah. Like a sexy intellectual housewife, yeah. I want good vibes, yeah. Like a motherfucking good high, yeah. I want good vibes, yeah. Like a hot meal in your belly and night. Good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Only the only way I ride, the only way I ride. Yeah. When you gon' realize we all come with stuff? When you gon' realize yo we are some stuff?
I love it.
When you gon' realize yo it's not always your fault. The hand you held, the hand you got. When you gon' realize? When you gon' realize? When you gon' realize we all come with scars? When you gon' realize? When you gon' realize?
Okay.
Oh wow!
Yes, yeah.
I love it.
I love it. And like, listen, y'all, this is what Follow Me is about. Like, I noticed because I go digging into crates, if you will, for the Follow Me's, right? And I know a lot of you guys have private accounts, and I get that. You're in probably different stages just being, and people on Instagram for different reasons. But for those of you who are like artists or just kind of just doing your thing, and that you are courageous enough to put your stuff out there at early stages, know that your aunties are listening and we're watching, and that it deserves light too. And that, you know what I mean? I just was so endeared by her, or they. I'm not sure what pronoun they may go by, so I just went by the default. But
the thing that I appreciate, it's been so long since I've been like you said, courageous enough to like pick up something new and just try it, right?
Yeah.
Just like work at it and see like where it goes, and like seeing the progression, and like, oh, I was making beats, but now I'm just gonna pick up a guitar and then be good at that. And then I'm gonna do a little solo video, but now I'm gonna harmonize with myself. It's so fun, and it's such a great way to use like our time now. Like, there are a lot of people who are using this time to create new things and to find new hobbies and just fill that space with something good, with some good vibes.
With some good vibes, yeah. Say my favorite word. But yes, but thank you, Just Got It, and please keep the work up.
Yes. Well, if you all want some of your work, passion, or just your beautiful queer selves featured here on Your Gay Aunties, follow me. Make sure that you follow us on IG at Your Gay Aunties or subscribe below here on YouTube. Do your thing in the feed, and we will see you.
And always know that we always want to partner with you guys just musically and putting your stuff throughout the show. And you can find out how to do that by checking out I guess how the British, how to do that. And you can find out how to do that on patreon.com/thegay-aunties. We have some interesting tiers over there for you artist types. Yeah. Now it's time to get on to a letter for you messy types. Let's see what happens.
Here's your letter.
Oh, I love it. I missed that show already.
I know. I'm like,
right.
Okay. All right. So this is this person is called College Dropout. Mm-hmm. All right. This is a sweet one, and yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer it, but here we go. Okay. Hi, Aunties. I'm a student at an HBCU. Please call me College Dropout. I'm going to keep from saying the name of my school, but not be. Hold on. I'm going to keep the name. Okay. I'm going to keep from saying the name of my school, but not because I'm not proud to go there. It's because I haven't stepped foot on campus to even call it mine. I transferred from a bigger school, quote unquote, to go to my mother's HBCU alma mater. It's a long story why I transferred, but let's just say I quickly learned I needed large doses of Black affirmation to get through school.
Yeah.
For real. So I arrived at my mom's school the second semester of my freshman year. I'm in the first semester of my sophomore year, and the last half of my freshman year was cut short by Rona. I grew up listening to my mother's stories and knew when I transferred the value of my decision to go to an HBCU. And our new vice president tells me again, I was right.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? But in caps, here's what's real though. I really don't feel like I'm in this historic college. I can't even tell you what it's like to go to my school. All of my school memories are in boxes and forum groups. I have gone to some off-campus parties, but I never felt 100% at the 2 parties I went to in my entire college life. I'm really just writing because I just don't know how to feel good about college. I'm home, I'm bored, I'm scared 45 is going to kill my entire sophomore year as well. How can I cope with losing out on my college years? That's the question. And also, what's the point of the diploma or saying I went somewhere if I don't have any college memories? Any guidance would be appreciated. Thank you, College Dropout.
Oh, baby.
I know. I know. I just want to. All I want to do is boo-hoo.
Yeah.
I mean, you went to an HBCU.
I did. I am representing Grambling State University right now. And yeah, I definitely do that as much as I do because of the experience that I had on that campus. And so I totally get where you're coming from. And I know that a lot of our students right now either were just getting into their college experience. My son's senior year, you know, he's home right now and really missing his campus. Students are all in different places and feeling not being able to be at their schools, right? That's a tough experience. The only advice, or I guess the first thing that came up for me is still connect with people virtually. Like if you're in a class, start a study group, right? So that you all have this connection that you're still building. So when you're back in each other's space physically, that you feel like you know each other already. Mm-hmm. There are still lots of things going on. Campuses are still doing their SGA, right? Mm-hmm. They're still having group meetings. Organizations are still operating on your campuses, right? So doing that work it's the same in this virtual space as it would be if you were at the school. You could be at your college and be in your dorm the entire time and not really have an experience,
Yes,
right?
that's true. That's real. That's real. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
in order to do that, you would need to go to meetings, you would need to reach out to people, you would need to go and have study groups, right? You would need to do all of those things so that you meet people. I say do as much of that, and y'all don't really like to be around each other much anyway. Your generation is kind of like this is what you made for. Y'all love to like be on your devices, and so capitalize on that. I'm saying, like, start a meetup, right? A virtual meetup for like people who are like a freshman class meetup. I know for Grambling there was a big thing, and we did a lot to surround the class of 2024 with a lot of love, right? Because they were coming in, they weren't going to be able to have that full experience. And so maybe even starting with like a hashtag. I don't know if you all are on Twitter or Instagram or like what, you know, your major forum is to communicate, but start something where you all can like do a Zoom, where you all can like meet each other and crack jokes, you know what I'm saying? Talk about what it's like to be with this particular professor virtually, right? Just find your commonalities now in the virtual space so that you are not starting from ground zero when you get back on your campuses.
Yeah. My heart is still heavy, and I'm going to at least hold space for you to honor that the loss of something as precious as when you first really step out of your parents' home and you have to make decisions on your own. Even though it's still somewhat of a sheltered experience, you're starting to navigate the world for yourself. And that unfortunately was taken away from you as far as the intimacy of that.
Yeah.
You know, so I just want to hold space for you and say that we all know that that is a loss, and don't let anyone say that it's different or try and make you feel, but don't worry, you know. But like Red was saying, this, or what I'm hearing her saying is that this can also be an opportunity for yourself to take some leadership, not just for yourself, but maybe even be a leader in whatever you're into. You know, like as you start to discover what you're into, finding others who are like that. Because the difficulty now, because the campus, or I'm assuming your campus is just not wide open again, we're not back to normal, is trying to find those connections with people, you know? So that is going to be probably the bulk of your journey, you know, but it's also a journey of a leader. So, and I'm not even going to make any assumptions that you even identify as a leader, but to whatever degree, we all have to be a leader for ourselves sometimes. Because sometimes you will find yourself, whether outside of college and moving on in life, you may find yourself isolated, or you may find yourself in a position where you are not empowered as much as you would like to be, or you're just not having the damn experience you want to have. Yeah. You know, you be going on, you know, it could be a bad vacation going really, really left, but but where you are empowered is that you can receive and perceive the situation where you can get something out of it that is memorable, because what you're looking for here is memories. And so there is opportunity here, but really it's going to probably come down to, like Red says, do the best you can to start to create those friendships, find those people that you have in common with that's on campus, or at least the virtual one, and transfer that over to when you guys are in front. And I know, hopefully you guys will be okay by spring. Okay, your second semester will be kosher. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. But if not, and you miss on those first 2 years, double down on the last two, homie. Double down on the last two.
Absolutely.
And I bet your crew, your cohort, y'all gonna double. Now be careful, but double down, and y'all have yourself some fun.
Yeah.
Y'all create the memories. 2 years is a long ass time, especially when it got unjustly concentrated. Mm-hmm. So you still have time to make those memories. Maybe you didn't get all the 4, but trust me, you are going to be the generation or that cohort from whatever HBCU you're at. It's like, yeah, we the 2020 clan, baby. Remember them last 2 years, boy? Like, seriously. Make those men. You still have time to do that. So we encourage you to do that when this is over, hopefully sooner rather than later.
And I want to take this minute to kind of shout out, if you all are not familiar with Teresa Dalves, she is the head of the film department at Prairie View, which is an HBCU in Texas. And they are doing phenomenal work to make sure that their students are staying connected. They're putting out programming that's that's going out nationwide on the internet every week. I get her updates all the time. I spoke to one of her classes when we first started the shutdowns, and we were first doing school virtually. So I'm able to see a lot of the things that they're still doing, and it's just inspirational. So they did a virtual homecoming for like 3 days or something, where people had an opportunity to still come together, and they were on live and they were on Facebook, and that, right. So they were creating these platforms where people still could come together virtually. And so that's kind of my mind state when I'm saying that, like, there are ways, right? So even I know that there's like groups in some of the social media pages. You can start a group, right? You can start a place where, people are just coming and venting, and they're coming and celebrating, and they're coming and sharing their experiences, so that you all have that. You're making those memories with each other now virtually already, right?
Exactly.
So you're not strangers when you see each other.
Say word. And you did also underscore that, that you are, that you're scared and that you're bored and all those, and you have a right to be some days.
Yeah.
Some days you have a right to be, but don't let that be all your day. This is an opportunity to move through this and see, like we've been saying since this crap started, who are you going to be on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay. So just kind of sit on that for a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
But let's move on. We so behind time.
You are not a college dropout. You are still in college. You are
baby,
still
yes.
there. Just because you're not on your campus doesn't mean that you're not a part of that community.
Exactly. And I know that tuition bill, your mom was like, no, baby, you still in college.
Still in.
You still in college.
Really?
All right. Thank you. I'm not even call you a dropper, baby. Thank you, college, our beautiful HBCU student. Yes, exactly. We love you all.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move into gems and then dive into our wonderful guests. And I'm going to take over me and Red's spot today because it's something I've been wanting to share, and I wanted to do it in the best means. But this clip is about 9 minutes long, so I want to prepare you. So listen. All right. Whew. All right. When I say prepare for this, I mean to get your headphones. If you're just in the house and this is on the laptop, just take a moment, sit down, and put on some headphones. All right. Because what you see is just as important as what you watch. And what you're about to see may seem familiar. Okay. We all have seen snippets of footage from the civil rights struggle. In fact, most of us, what we have received in American education about the civil rights movement is a few, MLK speeches, some sound bites, some footage of young people getting beat at lunch counters and not fighting back. And of course, the March on Washington. And then, boom, all of a sudden we got voting rights. All boom, all of a sudden, three generations later, we are not our ancestors. Okay. Now, Red and I have clapped back on this. We are not your ancestors crap, right? As a really ill-conceived phrase. Honestly, I'm tired of being tired. So I'm going to use this gem as a last statement. We're going to be done with it. All right. All right. Then your generation, you're on your own, which how you perceive things. Okay. Because the fuck. Okay. Anyway, so what I want to do, I want to take you back in time and beyond the bullet points of history. I want you to actively watch. This is the teacher talk. This is teacher Walida. This is Miss Walida talking now. I want you to actively watch, all right, what I'm about to show you. In May 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama, something was going very wrong and very right at the same time, all right? The civil rights movement was losing steam. You're like, losing steam? You may be like, wait, it's 1963. Isn't that the year they had the Great March and, and like it was 1 year away from the Voting Rights Act? What you mean losing steam, right? Well, yes, it was. simply because the sticky logistics of humanity, society, and struggle. So, what makes you think that the protests back then didn't have the same ebb and flow of rise up, taper off, flow, rise up, taper off, like we do today? Keeping enthusiasm and a sense of urgency is just as hard a task as changing white folks' minds. Now, in May of 1963, SNCC was organizing to fill the jails of Alabama, all right, Birmingham, Alabama, a tactic used to this day. But to deter arrests, Bull Connor inflated the bails, so all of those working Black adults was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's one thing to spend a couple days in jail, it's another to spend a few weeks. I will lose my job. That is not an option. So they were up against a wall, okay? A young leader by the name of James Bevel said, you know what? But we got young people, and guess what? They don't got no job. Okay? They don't got no job. So it was his idea. Now, at this point, MLK was like, I don't know about using young people, but they was like, yo, we got to use what we got. But this, I want to be clear, this was not MLK's idea or his leadership. This was the leadership of young people at the time. So the footage you are about to see documented the events of May 2nd and May 3rd in Birmingham, Alabama, also referred to as D-Day and Double D-Day to those who were there. As you watch, observe who is doing the protesting, the leading, their ages from middle school to college, how the first day started out, how the second day ended. What defiance looked like then. Their use of song that could be easily remixed was, you about to lose your job. Same shit. Their pride, their determination, and sense of invincibility, and the use of joy as their armor. And on the second day, May 3rd, those demonstrations, Bull Connor, frustrated by all the jails that were being packed, I'm showing you what you're about to see. I want you just to really absorb it, all right? He decides to bring out the dogs and the fire hoses, and that leads to all the footage that we might have seen. But what's beautiful about the footage I'm about to show you is that it is the documentary footage. You're going to hear some of the actual screams of the day. You're going to hear the songs of the day. You're going to see yourself as being young and fearless. But put your headphones on. Be undistracted. As we watch, we go back in time for 2 days in May 1963. And when this is done, you tell me that we are not our ancestors. All right? Let me move it on. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take out my headphones.
Thank you.
All right, almost there, y'all. I'm sorry. Try to get it up in time. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. All right, we good? We good?
Yeah.
All right. Now, everybody, as we do this, some of you, we may edit this for the podcast because, you're not looking at it, but we encourage you to actually go to watch the replay on YouTube. And here we go. 2 days in May, 1963, headphones on.
to my mind, marked the nonviolent movement coming of age. This is the first time in the history of our struggle that we have been able literally to fill the jails. In a real sense, this is the fulfillment of a dream, for I've always felt that if we could fill the jails in our witness for freedom, it would be a magnificent expression of the determination of the Negro and a marvelous way to lay the whole issue before the conscience of the local and national community. And I think in a real sense, this Birmingham movement is one of the most inspiring developments in the whole nonviolent struggle.
I want to make note that they're standing in front of the 16th Baptist Church, which later that year was where the 4 young girls were harmed. Okay, we're gonna turn this down now. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Hey y'all. So I'm just gonna let it run. Can you hear it? Yes. So I just cut it out there
Yeah.
because this is somebody else's edit of this really raw footage. I can't hear you, Red, if you're talking.
I didn't say anything yet.
And they put like this MLK speech over it that was just I thought was an ill fit for what we were watching. Hey everybody here? Good girl?
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so what
Yeah.
I've watched this quite a few times, and I've never seen so much footage of those 2 days, and what's
Mm-hmm.
most important, the lead up to what we all got the snippets towards the end on the second day. But little things, I don't know what you were noticing that I was noticing was this balance between, I keep saying this joy, this armor of joy, right? Like even when the kids started to get sprayed in the park, some of them was like, "We're gonna play in this water, bitch."
Mm-hmm.
You know, how about that? Or even like
Yeah.
that wall that kids sometimes put up that the reality is not in their face, so it makes them fearless. Like they
Mm-hmm.
can't really grip with the layers of what's going on, so they just in it.
Yeah.
I thought that,
For me, so one, seeing CT Vivian there as
yeah,
a young man,
yeah.
bloody face.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely one of my idols here in Atlanta. Always carried such a love for the community, for the people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so seeing him as a young person there just kind of brings it home, right? So, he's one of our recent ancestors, and we just honor his sacrifice of his life, right? To the people. But I think seeing the children there, I remember the first time that I saw those images, I picked up on what you said, like they ran through the water, like they were playing. I thought as a child, like they were having fun. And
But
my
when you're
mother
not,
had to,
mm-hmm.
she stopped me
Mm.
and she showed me images of what that pressure of the water could do to
I
you,
let's say
how it blew patches of
hair.
off of this girl's head, skin off of their faces and their arms where they were shielding themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could see in the video it not pushing them up in the air, physically knocking them off of their feet, right? And it was in that time when she said this was not fun for us,
Mm-hmm.
right? That watching this was horrifying because we understood how much pressure it was. Like they were literally throwing jackhammers at the children who were
100
out
pounds of
there.
pressure per inch.
Yeah.
And they turned that up
Yeah.
to 100 pounds per pressure. That's not the
And
usual go-to use fire hoses for crowd control, if you will.
right.
Back then.
And so all of this is just the means to say, shut up. We don't want to hear your cries for freedom. Like we don't want to hear your calls for equality, for humanity, right? We don't want to hear that. So much so that we are willing to bring out the dogs, bring out the water hoses, lock you up by the bus loads, school buses full of people being arrested for saying this is unfair. Flip to now, you have all these people outside. I don't want to be safe from coronavirus, right? That's not the same. Right? That's not the same. And so I just sit in awe of footage like this, right?
Yeah.
I thank you for finding this and for sharing it because it's important that we understand that in context. We like to deify, right, the leadership, and then we don't get to see the man, like the common, men and women who were there on the streets really doing that work and fight long before Dr. King showed up on the scene, right? And he was going places where the struggle was already up and running. It would be no need for him to go to a town that wasn't already in the fight.
Thank you.
There would be nothing for him to do there.
Exactly. And these are the nuances about the civil rights movement I wish would be readdressed when we teach our young people about what actually happened. And I want to close. I know we have to move on with the show. I want to close and just understand that 1963. Understand, I'm not just showing you this footage to show you the level of brutality or the level of strength of our, not just ancestors, but some of your grandmas and grandpapas. They still here, okay? So you have a sense of time. But also to understand the place that young people, the place and the sacrifice that young people had in propelling the civil rights movement forward. The new generation within that generation that was like, we're going to do this, how they propelled it. And when I say sacrifice, unfortunately, later that year, well, rather after that footage was seen of those, what they did to those kids in Birmingham, that is what propelled legislation. That is what propelled the march. And unfortunately, one more sacrifice of children was made that year. It also propelled back in Birmingham, AKA Birmingham, the 4 little girls. Later, all this in 1 year.
Yeah.
And this is what young people went through and fought for just in this one span of time, and how they contributed to this movement. So you are right, as young people, it's like we are the voice of our movement, our generation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cradled in everyone and everything that's come before you to allow you to lift your voices louder, be as angry as you want, and even say some old bullshit like I ain't my ancestor. So I hope we're gonna move on, but I hope you enjoyed that meditation. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it on your own thing, or of course come back here. But and let's just say hello to a couple folks. Hey, Sedonia. Hey, Ism711. Hey, Reggie G. What's up? Okay, let's move on to the show.
You replugged?
Yeah, to the what?
You replugged your headphones.
Oh, yeah, I did. I replugged my headphones. See, I'm good. No echo on the mix down.
Perfect. Well, now it is time for our favorite part of the show.
Our friends come to visit.
Yes.
All right, today we have one of the hardest working showrunners in Chicago. Coquie Hughes has written, produced, and directed dozens of films and plays, all of this with limited funding and guerrilla filmmaking tactics. Coquie gets the film in the can, and her work always places Black queer women and trans people at center stage. Whether it's the cult classic If I Was Your Girl, or vampire zombie strippers twerking and eating Southside folks just to survive. If Coquie can imagine it, she manifests it. YGA fan, please welcome filmmaker, showrunner, Coquie Hughes.
Hey. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for the intro.
Well, yes, for sure. Well, I wrote that myself because I'm a fan.
Hey, likewise. So I'm a fan of you as well.
Same word.
It is so wonderful to have you on our show.
Yeah, it's an honor. I just want to just give a response to the video that you just showed.
Yeah.
You know, I thought about that quote that Huey Newton said. He said, "The revolution has always been in the hands of the young." And so as I was watching that piece, I thought about what Huey Newton, one of the founders of the Black Panther, the Black Panther movement, said. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely gonna, look that up.
Yeah. It's a good thing to relook at when you have like no time and everything's quiet in the house. It does something.
Right. Right.
They
Daughter not
were.
walking in the frame and everything. Yeah.
They were. All right, so we got questions for you because we're really excited to dive into, who is in the work of Cookie Hughes.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll start.
Mhm.
I know that each filmmaker has their own process of preparing to produce a movie. Tell me, how is a Cookie Hughes film born?
Well, it starts with listening to great people like you all. As I share with you all, I'm a huge fan of your show, and I actually pull content as far as what I'm creating from what is going on in your show. So I
Mhm.
like to listen to people, and I like to create stuff that is relative to the human experience. And so, even though I may add my own quirky spin on it, but I also like to make it relative. Whereas, regardless if it's a content that's about urban Black queer women, if you're a cisgender straight white male, you can still relate to it. So,
Mhm.
the process begins with just um, creating content that is, about the human experience, just everyday life. So, yeah.
But your should be quirky and on borderline absurd, which I love. I love absurdity. I say that in the most positive frame of what absurd is,
I
right?
received that.
Yes.
Yeah. So like what are these little decisions you make? Like what makes you decide? Okay, look, as another filmmaker, right? I may look at it and say, okay, that's a funny ass effect. Like she said, fuck it, put that shit in. You know what I mean? We could get funded for that, but put that shit in. I was like, that's a good one. Like so I'm looking like what are some of the things that make you do some of these quirky decisions just with the effects and just like random stuff that will happen in the middle of the scene? Is there like a thought process behind that?
Well, you know what? What I find, what is interesting is that people will look at my films and think that it's comedy,
Mm.
but it's not really comedy. I be serious as fuck
Mm.
because life is serious. And sometimes you find, I guess, the healing
Mm.
through laughing, especially if you're seeing pain in someone else's life. It may seem humorous because of what you're watching on the film, but it be some real shit that be going on in my characters' lives. And so I think what it is that I create my content with a mind of seriousness, and like this could really be the thought process of this particular character, and but it may translate to someone watching is like, oh man, that was so funny. Like the movie that I made called How to Have a Child Without No Nigga. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a real life experience for myself, having two children through alternative insemination, going through pregnancy. And I did it without a nigga because I, bought the sperm from a sperm bank offline. I mean,
Mhm.
but that was really what happened.
Mhm.
And when I put that in the film, people were like, oh, that's her being comedy. But no, it was a real life dramatic experience. And so but it's cool that when people watch my stuff and they're humored by it. But it, like I say, that I think that's what helps, I guess, to overcome pain and trauma, to be
Mm.
able to
But
laugh at
that's
it.
actually what's dope about it, because some of your characters will say, when I say absurd, sometimes it can be profane, sometimes it can be pain, but they'll say it so matter of factly as if it's their thought. And what it does is it highlights the comedy and the absurdity of our thoughts. But a lot of your characters say that shit out loud.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
do.
And sometimes it's so painful, you either going to be with the pain or you going to laugh the pain away. And I think sometimes that is
Exactly.
a knee-jerk reaction, is that kind of like a nervous laughter, like that bitch, you say that, like
Right.
Mhm.
so it must be funny, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or I got to take it for face value, and then that's a whole different
exactly.
conversation.
Yeah, I love dark humor
Mm-hmm.
pieces. So I think that's what I would say that I'd like to create is dark humor pieces, not necessarily comedy. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's a question I've been wanting to ask you, or to tap into your head about, since I saw If I Was Your Girl years ago, like I think when you first put it out on YouTube, I just stumbled upon it, and then I kind of became a fan from there. But there was a scene in it that honestly, when I saw the scene, I was like, I think I'm a fan of this director.
Okay.
And no, seriously, because I was like, the amount of cojones that it took, not just to release the scene, but to own it, right? And it's a scene where for people who are not familiar with this particular movie, the movie is about domestic violence. All right, and she doesn't snip and make it cute for you. It's very raw dog, and someone who has been in a violent relationship, I understood a lot of that. The story that we tell ourselves that keep us in situations and all of that. So I appreciated the rawness of what you put out there. But there is this scene where one of the characters has a small child. I'm not sure how old he was, the small child. And the woman who played his mother and her girlfriend were having an argument in the background while he was in the foreground on the couch. And I wanted to ask you around your decision making and filming the child experiencing the domestic violence. But as a viewer, I'm like, does the child know the context? Is he old enough to know the context? So I was almost worried for you as a director. I was like, wow, this is such a bold choice. So no, seriously, like, this is such a bold choice, but it's from an artist perspective, whoa, because it captured something that you couldn't act out of anything or child or person. So I'll let you
Okay. Well, that child was my son. He was 3 at the time. He's 12 now. And when I made the decision to include him in the scene, I talked to him about it. I said, okay, his name is Truth, by the way. And I said to him, I said, okay, Truth, we're going to shoot a scene where you're going to be in your, I guess he had his Spider-Man underwear on or something. And I said that we're going to have where these 2 people are going to be like they're fighting, and they're going to be saying some really mean things to one another. And I need for you to be like you're their child and you're experiencing this. But I don't want you to get anxious or get upset. I just want you to just sort of kind of be, I don't know if I used the word numb, but I just told him, I just want you to relax. And him being the precocious kid that he was at the time, he was able to interpret that and get into the character. And so my camera guy, I said, what we're going to do, though, we're going to just focus on him. So I want the camera to be lowered and we have the characters in the background, but we're watching this numbness of this child, because I needed it to look like this is something that he was used to. And so he knew not to get anxious or upset when it did happen. One of the things that I was going to do in editing, but I didn't have enough time, because the argument started with him having the TV loud and he couldn't hear. Yeah. And so I was going to put some animation on screen where, as they're getting louder in the background arguing, he was going to be turning up the volume and it was going to show the animation of the volume key going up where it's tuning it out. But then I was like, no, that would just be too comical and it would take away from the seriousness of what was going on. But I think, like I say, Truth, he was able to conceptualize what I needed from him and to understand and differentiate that this is fantasy, but in real life, because he doesn't experience that in his real life. He doesn't see violence between people. He that just wasn't his environment. And so it was easy for him to make the difference that this was play as opposed to reality. Now, if I had to use a kid who had experienced that in real life and suffered trauma like that, then it probably would have been a different story. Yeah. But like I say, Truth was, at the time, he was just this really smart kid who could just, pick up as far as what was really going on and how to demonstrate that he was acting and it was not real.
Well, bravo to him, because the one thing, it's something I've never really seen on film, where you see a child react to violence and it made it so visceral, how this is something we do not need to be having our kids to be exposed to. Like, it literally proved the freaking point. Do not have your kids around, because one thing that was so honest about him as a young boy, and then you saying that because he's never seen this, him initially being startled when they raised their voice was real as AF. And also, as I'm watching him process, you know, it kind of got funny. He was like, so what the fuck is this shit? Like, we were like, he was like, he kept making us look like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know, but like how in the innocent of way a child is trying to process something. So anyway, just bravo to that. And I thank you for answering that question, because I wanted to always
no problem.
Your process behind that.
Yeah. Now my son, because he's 12, he was like, "Mommy, I can't believe you had me on the internet with my underwear on." You have.
And there's a whole different focus for him.
Exactly. Just telling those little girlfriends or whoever you're interested in, they'll think it's cute when they see it. Don't worry about it. That'll be cute. Give them your bad play. When just show them that little say.
Yeah.
Coquie, you were I'm trying to think of the designation, because I just remembered it. Like, are you the first Black woman to have a digital film? What was the designation?
Well, unfortunately, I'm a lot of firsts.
Okay.
And especially in 2020, I should not be the first at certain things. But yeah, the first to, at the time, I believe that was declared back in 2001, 2003, or something like that, to make a digital feature. The first to make as many films as I've done. Now, regardless if I had a budget or distribution behind it, but I'm the first to, be the writer director of as many films as I've done. And that's, that's actually kind of sad to me, especially in this day and age when there's so many amazing content creators, and yet we have not been able to advance to the level of getting distribution companies or mainstream media to put out content made by Black women. So, but the good thing about it is we have platforms like YouTube and Vimeo, where so many talented artists that are writing and directing, and they're just putting this shit out themselves and letting it be known who they are. So, yeah.
That's definitely one of the things that I appreciate about having worked on the set with you, seeing some of that process of not only like writing your plays, but producing your films, even the shorts, because I don't even think you were doing like the feature films. Well, no, you had to. I'm trying to think of the timeline when we were doing the shorts and everything. Like, I just love how creative, I think, is what Hanifa was speaking to earlier, like how creative your thought process is around how you tell these stories. Like, even the first time that a woman looks and sees another woman that she thinks she's attracted to, right?
Yeah.
The conversation around children with lesbian mothers, right? Like a lot of those different stories are, as you mentioned, like they're the human experience, but the choices, the artistic choices that you make really set you apart in a lot of ways that people, will find comical, but they're funny because it's like the first time that you've confronted some of these things. So I definitely appreciate your work and your fearlessness in that way. And I know that a lot of your films come out around your birthday.
They do. They do.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Also a fellow Scorpio. So tell me about your latest premiere and how you showcase that film.
Well, I didn't do a film this year because of COVID. Um, so what I just did was I had a paint and sip screening soiree. It was safe, just a few people, and basically the guests painted concept poster arts for 3 projects that I'm currently working on. I'm currently working on 3 uh, premium series that will be budgeted each at $1 million, and we're going to shoot 8 episodes for these 3 shows, 8 episodes per show, so it's a total of 24 episodes. And basically so this is like my first time just really just really focusing on being mainstream with it, and not just getting a camera and just shooting, because I feel like making a movie today. So I'm just taking my time with this. And so one of the beauties to me of COVID, it forced me to just slow my roll, and just really focus on writing, really focus on connecting with folks who are in a position financially to get behind me, and see my vision and see my purpose, and see the value of it. And it's like, okay, look, we're going to get you the resources, and so that you can take this to the next level. So the objective is to raise 5. So like got 3. So got 2 more million to go. So because I really want to continue creating content that highlights Black queer women, and so it deserves to have the production value to be featured that way. So COVID has just helped me to just take my time, because like if it wasn't for COVID, I probably would have made 3 movies this year. So yeah,
You
so
wouldn't have got to
I'm
Hollywood.
grateful. Yeah.
All right. So I wanna actually move into the most show part of the show. Because I want people to actually see some of your work and have you. We're going to do a director's cut, so I just have
Okay.
a couple of quick clips from her from a couple of movies, and then we'll have Coquie just kind of tell us what's going on. So let's go into Mo's show.
Okay.
All right.
I should be talking during these times, right?
Yeah, and I should be getting things ready, which of course I'm not.
Okay. I think that's a really cool picture y'all picked. That picture is from me from 10 years ago, so that's cool.
That's the one you gave us.
No, I sent you a different picture with my gray hair and everything, but this is dope too.
Okay. All right. So I got it queued up. All right. So this first joint, right, is from your movie called Catfishing, right?
Yeah.
And most of your work is centered around Black queer women. This one, for the most part, is centered around a Black trans man, right?
Yes.
But also how we, as far as the lesbian community in particular, how we've dealt with Black trans men or trans men, period. And so you kind of talk about a lot of that. But I just took a funny clip where the main character, this is after that his girlfriend breaks up with him because he's becoming trans. His sister is trying to tell him how he can actually get some ass.
Right.
So she's in a position. This is how you're gonna actually get ass. So we'll play that, okay?
Right.
Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Just leave your key at the door. Damn, bitch. It's been over a year since y'all broke up. No wonder why your ass so uptight and suffering from T-Rage.
No, the pills, they got me horny all day, every day, and it ain't nothing I do about it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I wanna make sure I keep it 100 with a girl. I want women to know from jump that I'm a trans man.
Oh no, that information is on the need to know basis.
Oh my.
As long as your dick game on point, these hoes could give no fucks.
But come on now. Won't they know it's not real?
I've seen your packer, and that motherfucker looks and feels authentic. And I know you're gonna be wearing a rubber. These bitches don't know the difference from lambskin, silicones, bear skin. It's just another cock.
So basically, you suggesting that I catfish my fake dick?
If you want some pussy, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What's up, bro? Hey, what's up, Sheree?
Yeah, you gonna come
First of all, I love this character.
yeah, baby. I'm coming. What I tell you, if you hitting it right, any bitch with a pussy could care less. Good night.
All right, I'll stop it there. Okay. The idea of catfishing dick, I thought was hilarious. I don't know what I intended it to be.
Yeah, it was very interesting when I was first promoting that I was shooting this film and I was looking for talent. I had gotten some emails and messages saying, that I was being disrespectful to the trans community. And I was like, no, but they hadn't seen the movie, so they didn't really know the concept that I was really catfishing genitals and not trans people.
Yeah.
And so, and I was really happy to work with James because I learned a lot. The actor who played the main character in that, he of course is a trans man, because at first I had a hard time trying to find an actor to play the role. And so initially I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just get a guy, a cisgender male to play this character. And I had set the production schedule and was like, we're just gonna go with this male actor. But James had hit me up, and I had worked with James on some other projects, but he was just, a background actor. And he was like, I want to audition. I was like, oh, okay, come on in. And so he just really just came with it, and he basically authenticated my script, because after he did such a good job in the audition, and then he read the script and he called me back. He was like, oh man, Cookie, this is so true, and so I was really happy that he had validated what I wanted to talk about in the script, as far as what trans men go through by being misgendered, and how his dating life is. He can't necessarily date lesbians because lesbians are not interested in men. And and so I just learned so much from him, and just learning about the process of what he is experiencing sexually, and with taking the hormones and how it increases your sex drive. So it was just great, just really great learning from him and doing that film. I had fun doing that film.
Yeah, we all, isn't that the whole point, to learn something, right? Well, yeah. I definitely, learned, or rather I re-experienced things that I learned, as a Black queer woman, and how I relate to my trans brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? And so I appreciated just seeing all of that being worked out, but also to see, him deal with the heartache of the joy of being attracted to a woman, and courting a woman and doing all that. And then the heartache that ensues, because more times than not, that woman is straight and that she got to deal with her issues, but also how in many cases there's a come around. At the end of the day, it's a nigga, it's a nigga, it's a nigga.
Right. and that's what I liked about his sister, when she was just explaining, like, shit, if your dick game on, it's all good. And, he was able to, come with it, because he, at the end of the day, ended up getting a girl. So
say word. I have one more quick clip And this is just, and mind you guys, you got to actually just go and watch the movies. You can do that. Go to CoquieHughes.com. She currently has her whole catalog being streamed live, and that's what I've been for free.
Yeah.
I read pay, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Belle.
Yeah. We talk about that later. But just go on a binge, all right? But anyway, so this is one of your spin-offs from one was If She Was Your Girl. Was that your first film?
First film I ever made?
Yeah, not your first film that you made, right? But was that the first? I feel like it's the first one that was released in a particular way. No,
I mean, I think it was the one that gave me the most momentum.
Okay,
I would say that. Yeah.
Got you. So from this first film, she made a web series, right? And the last episode, I love you, episode 10, though there was really only 4, but that's a hippie. I love it. Give me some more. Anyway, so this last series, and I don't care what you call it, this is the definition of absurdity on film, and I loved how you did this. So there was these 2 characters that I love. They were like hitmen, all right? So you have to kind of watch the original film, watch the web series after to catch up. But it felt like at a certain point, you was like, you know what? I gotta get rid of all these bitches. How about this? I need to get rid of all these characters. I'm gonna get rid of them. Okay, I'm a fan. Anyway, so this is just a quick clip of 2 characters that are hitmen, and kind of one by one, everyone comes in and asks them to kill each other, right? So this is just one character asking them to kill, and just whatever. It's a little quirky scene that I just thought was funny. All right, here we go. Well, we're gonna edit this for you podcast people. All right. We're almost there. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the one. You're still with us out there? Say hello to the people while I get this together.
Hello, peoples.
All right. One more again. Okay. All right, here we go. Boom. All right.
Nigga, what's up? What's going on? Shit. So tell me, how does shit work? Well, I'm pretty sure Aisha told you everything you needed to know, right? Yeah, but that shit was a recording. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do something major, something bad. And I ain't want to be talking about this shit on no voicemail. Aisha's not really a voicemail or some type of machine. She just had processed data. That's all that is. Look, man, whatever. I would have did this shit myself, but I just can't stand the sight of blood. Not even period blood. That's why I had a hysterectomy when I was young.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you just say shit that be on your mind.
Look, I got $400 in cash. You know what I'm saying? The rest of my PayPal account. You know what I'm saying? It's only so many transactions I can make a day. Man, I know Aisha told you the fee was $5,000. But I just told you I can get it. How you plan on getting this money? Look, I fuck with this rich bitch named Lynn. Well, what's her last name? Franklin. Why you know? Keep talking. Well, this bitch got enough trick off money, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't be shit for her to give me $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way I be putting a D down, you know? I be fucking like this, you know what I'm saying?
I love your reaction.
Then I be hitting her like this. She be putting it back on me, you know what I'm saying? I be fucking like this. Wow. We good. God, man. If she ain't pussy whip by now? Shit, she should be as good as this dick is. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what you heard. I don't know this nigga. Man, me and this nigga did some time in a joint. I used to bump squares off of her. And everything. This my nigga though. So I think you should hit us up when you get the money. money.
She all about the business. I'm just gonna stop it there.
That's it. 5.
All right. So there's a thing that you do, right, where you literally tell the story by flashbacks.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, that is your thing. That is like your signature. I love that thing.
Yeah.
There's a series now. When you watch the whole thing, y'all, right? So with these hitmen, right, or hit women, hit whatever, the killers, they go through a whole series. It's first it started with like 24 hours, the 36 hours earlier, the 72
Yeah.
hours earlier, and you get to see all the stuff that happened that kind of led them up to a certain point. But just all these meetings they have in the car, I just think are just hilarious.
Yeah.
I love them as characters.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier how this show goes from first you got the movie, and then you go from episode 1 to 3, and then you jump to 10. And one of the things that when I had released this, people were like, okay, am I missing something? Where's 4 through 9? And it was intentionally done that way, whereas the 2012 movie was released. Then we did the web series episode 1 through 3. And then we jumped to 10 because we were supposed to shoot 4 through 9. I mean, when we had started shooting 4 through 9, but then things didn't work out the way that it should. And so we didn't get a chance to finish. Because if you saw 4 through 9, then episode 10 would have just made so much sense because it was all a dream sequence that was explained in episode 9. And so but we never got a chance to showcase that because it was just really clever how it was written. And but like I say, the audience just missed out on that because then because we did episode 1 through 3 and then 10, and then they would have saw 4 through 9 and they would have been like, oh wow, this is so dope how this is done. But yeah.
But we just pieced it together for
Yeah,
us.
because I know episode 10 made no sense to nobody.
But I like stuff like that. Because it's just coming out of left field. Like even how Stacia got killed, how like everybody got killed, was just like everybody went out in the most absurd way.
Yeah. They did. It was everybody dying, It went to a domestic violence piece to everybody blowing up. So
They shot me in the ass. I'm like, if you shoot her in the back, she could be dead. Like,
Yeah, the eyeball popping out.
Let's let it for you, homie. like I love it. But it could be funny because even the blood and gore wasn't real blood and gore. So you can like see this for the bit that it was. I really Yes.
I wanted to come back with 4 through 9, but it just didn't work out. And so then I decided to do a spinoff with If I Was Your Girl Again, where it was going to be about people who came to see this bootleg movie at a movie theater called If I Was Your Girl. And it was telling the story of the audience members. And so that's what If I Was Your Girl Again is about. That was the spinoff.
Oh, that's cool. I like that idea.
Nice.
Yes. So anyway with that.
Yeah, so made a movie about the audience. So
all right, y'all. This has been another incredible show with an incredible guest.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes, the one and only Coquie Hughes. Again, we definitely implore you guys to go check out her entire catalog. Have a nice binge. Lord knows we have all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And stay connected. So yes, contact her at or see her stuff at cookiehughes.com, and we'll put the actual link in the notes, and we'll promote it on IG to make sure people are cool how to spell your name, because it ain't like the cookie.
Right.
Mario Cookie. So that'll be wonderful. I'm excited.
Yes.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the show.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey,
we really
awesome.
appreciate it. So listen, everyone, if you all want to support your gay aunties, check us out on patreon.com/yourgayaunties. We have some incredible tiers over there that you probably haven't seen anywhere else. And all of those tiers lead to you being a part of the show, just like Coquie Hughes was today, right? So patreon.com/yourgayaunties.
Say word. And auntie and friends, read the Constitution. We're taking a break this coming Thursday because it is Turkey Day, which we all should be spending in our homes with our immediate family.
Yeah.
With the Zoom monitor in the corner. You even give it a chair if you wish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, put the laptop on the table.
I'm just saying, do what you need to do so that you can see all of your family next year. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be off for this Thursday, but the following Thursday, December 3rd, I'm gonna grab a really good friend of mine, Holiday Simmons. And yes. And he and I, we are going to do Amendment 5 and 6.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes. And then next on Your Gay Aunties is New Orleans native rapper, actor, and now pizza curator, Look-A-Lie.
Yes.
And with that, I am Red Summer.
And I am Hanifa Walida.
And I'm Coquie Hughes.
And we are Your Gay Aunties.
All right, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, bye.